What's up, you guys? Thank you for joining me again and welcome to the final part of this chapter 6, Trigonometric Functions. But before we continue, I just want to let you know that I hope you have at least watched the first 3 parts before coming here, because the first 3 parts cover more or less everything you need to know. It covers the basic and slightly more advanced questions as well. And without those knowledge, you will find this final part of the video a bit more hard for you. Okay, so I hope you have at least watched the first 3 parts, understand them, familiarize yourself with those questions before coming here so that you can understand this subtopic better. Alright, so without further ado, let us get started. So let me start with the basics. Let's say question give you like this: sine theta equals to 1 over square root 2. So logically speaking, what we have learned in the past is that we're going to shift this sign to the opposite side. So you get sine inverse 1 over square root 2, correct? And then you get 45 degree. Now there's a problem with this. Yes, the answer is correct, but the answer is not complete. Why? Because I told you before, in the first part of the video itself, you are learning 4 quadrants now. You're not just learning one first quadrant, okay? All this while when you solve, when you get your answer, is always in the first quadrant. Because in the first quadrant, remember, all science teachers are crazy, right? All science teachers are crazy. So in the first quadrant, all the signs are the same. All the signs are positive. So that's why everything is included in the first quadrant. So whenever you solve, you get this answer, right? It's always in the first quadrant. It does not take into account the other 3 quadrants. First quadrant means from 0 all the way to 90 degree. Okay, it does not take into account beyond that, within 180, 270 and also 360. It does not take into account all of that. So what should be the correct answer for this? Well, the correct answer is, first you must see this is sine, correct? So remember, I told you, for sine, which quadrant is positive? Because you see here, this is just 1 over sec 2, right? It's positive, correct? So if it's positive, where is positive sign? Positive sign is in first quadrant and the second quadrant, correct? Positive sign. So you will have more than one answer. So this one here is what we call as the reference angle. Okay, we use this as the reference angle. So the real answer is, so since it is in the first quadrant, so the first quadrant you can use back 45 degree, okay? But if it's in the second quadrant, now second quadrant means here, you see, let's say second quadrant means here, 45 degree. So you want to find what? From here all the way to here, right? From 0 all the way to this line here. So what is it going to be? It's going to be 180 minus 45. Okay, so your answer, you will have 2 answers. One is 45, one more is 35. I'm sorry, 135. Okay, from here all the way to here. So you got 2 answers. Okay, but what if the question gives you like this? See, I'm going to change the question. Let's say the question gives you sine theta equals to negative 1 over sec 2. Now it's negative. So negative means what? Since it's sine and it's a negative, where is the negative part of sine? Quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Correct? So you must take into account these 2 quadrants, not the first 2 quadrants. Clear? Because now it's negative. Clear? So same thing, you're going to shift the sign. But when you key in, I want you to key in the positive value. Okay, when you write shift inverse, okay, this is just my way of doing. Okay, I usually like to do it this way because I don't want to mix up with the negative sign. I'm just going to put in the positive part of it. Although it is a negative, but I'm only going to put the positive side in the calculator. Okay, so I will still get 45 as my reference angle. Correct? I'll still get 45, same as this. But the answer I get, my theta answer, is not going to be the same as this. Why? Because this one represents the positive side. Now I'm going to find the negative side. So negative side means it's going to be in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So quadrant 3, the 45 degree would be here. And quadrant 4, the 45 degree will be here. Okay, so if I want to find the angle for quadrant 3, so I have to take 45 plus 180. Okay, because we are taking into account this whole thing from 0 all the way to this line. And then the last one here, we're going to take from 0 all the way to here. So that means I must take the second part, right? The second angle is 360 minus 45. Okay, so same thing, you will have two answers. Okay, you can calculate yourself to find the two answers. Clear? Now, it's okay. You don't understand, it's fine. We got a lot of questions here we will cover, and I'm sure you will understand by the end of this video. Okay? Alright, let's look at some of these exercises. Given that, okay, so they give you the range of x. Correct? Range of x. Find all values of x that satisfy each of the following equations. Okay, let's solve this. So, question A. Sine 2x equals to negative 0.4321. So how I normally do, right, it's like this. I'll find the reference angle. Always find the reference angle. So reference angle is by taking the shift, or if it's cos, then you take cos, tangent, you take tangent, you shift to the opposite side, so you get inverse. Okay, you get sine inverse, then negative 0.4321. Now, although it is like this, I usually don't write the negative. Why? Because I'm only finding the reference angle. Okay, I'm only finding the reference angle, so I don't need the negative. The negative is only there to tell me which quadrant is this going to be in. Okay, because negative means, okay, then you find for the negative side of sine. Okay, so all science teacher are crazy. So if negative part of sine means quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay, so that's all the negative is trying to tell me. So when I calculate here, I don't have to put a negative. I just want to find the reference angle. The negative is just to tell me which quadrant. Clear? Okay, so when you key this into your calculator, sine inverse 0.4321, you will get your answer 25.6 degree. Okay, 25.6 degree. So 25.6 degree, of course, is not the answer. Okay, first thing, you already shift the sine inverse, right? So now you are left with 2x. So 2x is equals to, so first of all, try to recall, negative, here is sine and this is negative. So negative sign means quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Correct? So quadrant 3, how do I find the angle? Here is 25.6. So you must take 180 plus 25.6. So 180 plus 25.6. Okay, that's the first angle. The second angle is in the fourth quadrant. So if here is 25.6, to find the angle, you have to take 0 all the way to here, right? So that means 360 minus 25.6. Okay, so these are the two angles, but this one is tricky. Why? The reason why this question is tricky is because it is 2x. If you stop here, that means like if you just calculate these two values and leave that as your answer is wrong. Not to say wrong, it's not complete. Okay, why? Because it says here 2x. 2x means 2 cycles. 2 cycles, that means you have another 2 more values here, which is on the second cycle. Okay, so let me show you. This one, 180 plus 25.6 is 205.6, and then the second angle there is 334.4. Okay, so this 2 is only within the first cycle. You see, all is within 360 degree. Correct? It's only within the first cycle. But because here is 2x, this one is 2x. You see, this range they give you is 0x 360. Correct? But you are finding for 2x. So that means you must times 2, right? So 0 is still 0. 360 times 2 is 720. So that means they are asking for 2 cycles. Okay, so instead of these 2, you have to add another 2 more values that are within the second cycle. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the third value here. The third value is you take this value plus 360, and then the fourth value you just take this plus 360, because it's just the second cycle. They are still in the third and fourth quadrant, but they are in the second cycle. So you just plus 360. So you should get 565.6 and also 694.4. So you got 2 additional answers here. Clear? So just remember, you are in the second quadrant, right? Third quadrant. So third quadrant means 180 plus 25.6. Okay, so when you just straight away calculate, you will get 205.6. okay, then if you want to find the fourth quadrant, so you take 360 minus 25.6, so you will get 334.4. okay, now on top of that, because it is a 2x, so you got 2 cycles, so you must take this plus 360. So when you plus 360, you get 565.6, and then the fourth quadrant of the second cycle, you take 334.4 plus 360, so you get 694.4. clear? So now this is still not complete yet, because why? You are looking for x. They ask to find all values of x, so that means you cannot, all this answer is only for 2x. You don't want 2x, you want x. So what you're going to do is you're going to take x equals to, so the 2 you're going to shift over, so you're going to divide by 2. So all of these numbers are going to divide by 2. So when you divide by 2, you should get your answer 102.8, 167.2, 282.8, and 347.2. clear? So this is your answer. Okay, okay, I know it's a bit difficult to understand, but no worries, we still got a lot of questions here. I'm sure you'll understand with more of this practice. Okay, so now question B, let's see. Question B is second 2x plus 40. Okay, I didn't want to give you all simple questions, that's why I give you all these harder one. So try to keep up. Okay, if you don't understand, you have to watch it again. By all means, watch it again. Okay, try it yourself and then watch it again to check the answers. Okay, alright, so second 2x plus 40 equals to 2. So second is what? Second is 1 over cos, right? So 1 over cos 2x plus 40 equals to 2. So in other words, cos 2x plus 40 equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so now once you have reached this point, now you follow the same step as the previous question. Find your reference angle. Okay, so cos inverse 1 over 2, you should get 60 degree. Okay, this is just your reference angle. So now you have to decide which quadrant is this in. Which quadrant? So this is a cos and it's a positive cos. So all science teacher are crazy. So positive means here and here. So first quadrant and fourth quadrant. So since you found 60 degrees, so you know in the first quadrant it's going to be here 60 degree. Second quadrant is going to be here 60 degree. Okay, so from here we know that 2x plus 40 is equal to what? So the first quadrant is 60 degrees, so just write back 60, and then to find the one in the fourth quadrant, you take 360 because it's from 0 all the way to here, right? So take 360 minus 60. Okay, 360 minus 60. Okay, so your answer should be 300. Question, are you going to just stop here? No, because you see there is still 2x, so that means there are 2 cycles. Okay, there are still 2 cycles, so you have to plus 360 for each of these. Okay, so 360 plus 60, you get 420, and the last one is 660. Okay, for this one plus 360, 660. So now you got all of this, correct? But again, you are finding for x. So what you're going to do is you're going to shift the 40, and then after that shift the 2, right? So each of this number here, each of these, you have to minus 40, then divide by 2. Clear? It's something like this. 2x, wait, 2x plus 40 equals to 60, right? I just take one of the example first. So to find 2x, you take 60 minus 40, and then to find x, you take 60 minus 40 divided by 2. Correct? So you must do this concept for all of this to find the answer for x. Clear? So when you do that, you will get x is equals to, so for each of these, minus 40 and divide by 2. So your answer will be 10 degree, 130 degree, 190 degree, and lastly 310 degree. Clear? So that's how you solve. Now let's look at the third question here. So third question is cotangent. Question C. Cotangent x over 3 equals to 0.4452. Okay, so first thing, change it to sine cos tangent. So cotangent is 1 over tangent x over 3 equals 0.4452. Okay, so now you're going to shift, so you get tangent x over 3 equals to 1 over 0.4452. Okay, so you can use your calculator to calculate this. And the first thing you're going to do here after you have reached this point is similar to the first question and second question, is to find the reference angle. Okay, so for this case, tangent, right? Tangent and positive. So where is tangent and positive? Which quadrant? First quadrant and also third quadrant. All science teacher. So here is A, here is T. Okay, so first quadrant and third quadrant. So the first quadrant, okay, once you find your reference angle, right, you will get your answer is 66 degree. Okay, just tangent inverse and then type this 1 over 0.4452. You should get 66 degree. So 66 degree is one of the first one is here. The second one should be here. Okay, so the first angle is 66. The second one is from 0 all the way to here. So that means 66 plus 180. Okay, to find the angle in the third quadrant. So you should get x over 3 equals to 66, and the other one is 66 plus 180. You should get 246. Okay, so you're not done yet. You have to multiply by 3 because you want to find x value, right? So x is equals to, so just times 3, you should get 198 and 738. Okay, now if you leave your answer here, you're still not complete. Why? You see, this question is a bit tricky also. I told you before, we always have to check this. Okay, we always have to check the reference up here. So it says x is between 0 to 360, right? Correct, not? X is between 0 to 360, but you see your angle here is what? 198 to 738. So can you include 738 or not? Answer is cannot. So this one you have to ignore. Okay, you have to ignore. So your final answer is only 198. Clear? Always check, always check what is the range. So let us continue to question D, E, F. Alright, question D. 5 tangent x equals to 7 sine x. Okay, so first thing what we're going to do is we're going to put them together. Okay, so tangent, you can change it to sine over cos, right? So 5 sine x over cos x equals to 7 sine x. So when you bring the cos to the other side, what you will get is 5 sine x equals to 7 sine x cos x. Now, I know what most students will do is they will take this sign here, they will shift that, becomes divide, correct? So sine x, then you can cut. Now if you do this, your answer is wrong. Why? Because if you do this, you will miss out some possible answers at the end. Okay, it's the same reason as this is here. X square equals to, let's say, 3x. Now how are you going to solve this? Are you going to just straight away shift the x there, then you get x squared divided by x equals to 3, then you get x equals to 3? Are you going to just do this? If you do this, your answer is wrong, huh? Because why? What you have to do is actually you should shift the whole thing, right? So you get x squared minus 3x equals to 0. Then you you factorize, so you get x minus 3 equals 0. So that means x can be equals to 0 and x can be equals to positive 3. Two answers here. Okay, if you do this way, you only got one answer. Clear? So that's what I meant. You cannot just shift the sine x there and then cut. No, then you will miss out on certain answers. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to put them together side by side. Okay, put them together side by side, so it becomes like this: 5 sine x minus 7 sine x cos x equals to 0. Now you factorize the sine out. So when you factorize sine x, you get 5 minus 7 cos x equals to 0. So from here, you know that you have two answers. One is sine x equals 0, one is 5 minus 7 cos x equals 0. Okay, so let me write here. Sine x equals 0. Second one is 5 minus 7 cos x equals 0. So from here, sine x equals 0. So you can actually straight away write the answer instead of doing the reference angle. If you know lah. If you don't know, then you use the reference angle. So this one actually x is equals to 0, 90, 0, 180 and 360. Okay, now if you don't know why, see sine x equals 0, right? So x is equals to 0 as well, correct? Yeah, so you see imagine you got a sine graph. What is the x value such that you get y equals 0? So here's the y, right? Here is x. So if y equals 0 is here. So at this point, at this point, at this point. So at this point, what's the x value? X value is 0. Here x value equals to 90. Here x value equals to 360. That's why there are three answers. So the reference, this one is not the x, this is reference angle. Reference angle equals to 0. So if reference angle equals 0, remember I told you where is your positive sign quadrant? Here, quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, right? All signs. So if you got reference angle 0, so that means here is 0, right? So the first angle, the acute angle would be 0. So x equals to 0. And then at this part, second quadrant, is also 0, right? So if you take 180 minus 0, you still get 180. So that's the second angle, 180. But what's the way I get 360? Because 0 is the same as 360, right? Angle 0 is actually the same as 360. So you still have to include 360. Okay, I'm just trying to explain how I got the answer. Okay, some people will only write 0 and 180. so your answer is not complete. Okay, so if you don't understand why I did this, try to understand this. Okay, from the graph itself you can see there are 3x value that will give sine x become equals to 0. Okay, there are 3x value. Clear? So that is the sine part. So you have to solve the cos part now. So cos here, if you rearrange this, you will get cos x equals to 5/7. So again, what's the reference angle? Start with the reference angle. Reference angle would be equal to 44.4. 44.4. Okay, now 44.4 is in which quadrant now? Cos is what? Positive cos is first quadrant and fourth quadrant. So 44.4 is here and 44.4 is here. So the first one here, the first quadrant will be 44.4 and the fourth quadrant will be 360 minus 44.4. So in other words, your x value, I straight away write the answer. I hope you all understand by now. So the x value should be 44.4 and 360 minus 44.4 is 315.6. Okay, let me just see. So this is the first, don't get confused. This one is for cos one. Okay, so you got, so in other words, how many answers do you have? You should have 5 answers. Okay, you should have 5 answers. So if the question asks what's the x value, these are all the x value. X value should be equals to 0, 44.4, 180, 315.6 and also 360. Clear? So this is how you solve it. Okay, I know it's getting a bit complicated. I know some of you all are struggling, some of you all, but it's okay. I assure you, you keep doing practice, you will get it. Okay, all of us, you regardless if you are a teacher or you're a student just learning, all of us had to go through this. Okay, but once you learn, you do enough practice, you will know it. Okay, so just keep practicing, don't give up. All right, next question. Question E. Sine square x minus 2 sine x equals to cos 2x. Now, this one is getting a bit of a headache, right? How are you going to solve? So what you can do is, you see here is cos 2x, right? Cos 2x, I told you there are 3 formulas that you can use. You have to decide which one are you going to use. So in this case, since all of these are sine, right? In terms of sine, I'm going to use the sine formula. So the double angle, okay, this one you should refer to the previous, the part 3 video. So here sine square x minus 2 sine x. So cos 2x I'm going to change to 1 minus 2 sine square x. Okay, so I rearrange this. I should get 3 sine square x minus 2 sine x minus 1 equals to 0. So if you see this, what you notice is a quadratic, right? It's similar to this 3x square minus 2x minus 1. Correct? If you cannot see it, right, you can change it to like this, x. Okay, then it becomes easy. Then you can just do your 2 brackets. Clear? I know some people find it hard to visualize this, but if you don't understand, you can substitute a value. You see here, sine become x, sine become x. So you get 1 got square, 1 is just a constant. I mean no power 1 lah, and then this one is no sign. Clear? So by doing this, you will have 2 brackets, okay, because you can factorize. Equals to 0. The first one, you should get sine x minus 1. Second one, you should get 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, for those, if you, like I said just now, if you cannot understand this, right, you just substitute like this. You see, you let x become equals to sine x. So from here, you will get 3x square minus 2x minus 1 equals 0. So when you use your calculator to factorize, you will get x minus 1 and 3x plus 1. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this you should get this. So after you got this, then only you substitute the sine x back in. So you get sine x minus 1, 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, if let's say you don't know how I got this, okay, you cannot seem to understand, you can use this way. Okay, yes, it's a longer way, but at least you know you get your answer correctly. Okay, alright, so let me erase this. Give me a minute. Okay, so here is sine square, 3 sine square. Here I get sine x minus 1 and 3 sine x plus 1. Okay, so from here now, you got two answers. One is sine x equals to 1, one is sine x equals to negative 1 over 3. Okay, alright, so now the first one, sine x equals to 1, so you get your x value equals to 90. Okay, why? Because you see, sine x equals to 1 is positive, right? So positive means let's say you get your reference angle should be 90 degree. Okay, so it's in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2 because it's a positive sign. So if it's in quadrant 1, it's obviously the same angle itself lah, so 90 degree. When it's in quadrant 2, you take 180 minus 90, right? So you also get 90. So both quadrant give you the same answer, so there's only one answer, x equals to 90. Okay, that's why I never write the reference angle, because it's actually the same thing. Exam you want to write is fine lah. Okay, next, sine x equals to negative 1 over 3. So reference angle for this is 19.5. Okay, so now again, sine negative quadrant is third and fourth. Okay, so that means in this quadrant here, it will be 180 plus 19.5, and here would be 360 minus 19.5. Okay, so in other words, x is equals to 199.5 and also 340.5. Okay, so to conclude, your x value you should have three answers lah: 90 degree, 199.5, and 340.5. Clear? Alright. Okay, last question for this part. Question F. So this one is what? Addition formula, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to straight away expand it. Okay, so you expand, you get sine x cos 30 plus cos x sine 30 equals to, so the cos part is cos x cos 120 minus sine x sine 120. Okay, so from here, this one you can straight away use your calculator, all this, to get the value. And then the cos 120, actually you can also straight away use your calculator, or you can change it to acute angle first, which I've already taught you in the part 1 video. But in this case, I'm just going to straight away use the calculator, because I don't have to waste too much of time. So in the end, you should get sert 3 over 2 sine x plus 1 over 2 cos x equals to negative 1 over 2 cos x minus sert 3 over 2 sine x. So you can rearrange this such that the sine and the sines are together and the cos are together. So you rearrange this, you should get sert 3 sine x equals to negative cos x. Okay, I rearrange. Sine I put one side, cos I put the other side. So now what I can do is, both sides got sine and cos. So what do? What I can do is, I can bring the sine, the cos together with the sine. So I get sine x over cos x equals to negative 1 over sec 3. Why am I doing this? Because I know sine x over cos x is equals to tangent x. Right? I know it's equals to tangent x. So from here, I can find my reference angle. Correct? What's my reference angle? My reference angle would be 30 degree. Okay? So 30 degree for tangent. Tangent means what? Which quadrant are we looking at? The first, sorry, this is negative. Negative means second quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay? For tangent, negative is second quadrant and fourth quadrant. So second quadrant here is what? 180 minus 30. And the fourth quadrant is 360 minus 30. So in other words, you can find your x value is equal to 150 and also 330. Okay, sorry, I have to cram here, I got not much space. But yeah, I hope all these examples kind of explain to you how to solve this kind of application questions. Okay, now let's see the next exercise. By using the identity secant square a minus tangent square a equals to 1, okay, they ask you to use this. Find the exact value of tangent a if they give you a new equation here. So they're asking you to solve this, okay, this equation here, secant square a plus tangent square a equals to 2. Okay, they want you to solve this using this. Okay, so this is one of the identity, right? So secant square a minus tangent square a equals to 1. Okay, so we want to find tangent a. So that means we must substitute this in terms of tangent a, correct? So what you can do is isolate the secant square. So secant square equals to 1 plus tangent square a. So you take this, substitute into the secant square a here. So 1 plus tangent square a plus tangent square a equals to 2. So you can combine, you get 2 tangent square a equals to 2 minus 1, because this 1 I shift over, right? So 2 minus 1 I get 1. So tangent square a, or I can straight away just find tangent a, equals to 1 over 2, and then don't forget to square root. So then you can simplify your 1 over 2, you should get plus minus, because square root means there is positive and negative, right? So that means you get plus minus 0.7071. Okay, tangent a. Do you have to continue? Answer is no. You don't have to find the angle a, because they said find the exact value of tangent a. That means they want you to find what is tangent a. So tangent a is this lah. Okay, so that's all. You don't have to find the angle. Alright, next. Okay, this is the final question for this whole entire chapter. Okay, after we're done with this, then we are done with the chapter. So let us look at this question. Ellie intends to paste a wallpaper by using a collage technique. The diagram on the right shows a triangle ABC, which is made up of two types of colored paper. Point D is on AC. Okay, point D on AC. AD is 7 cm. DC is 8 cm, BC is 10 cm, and then ACB, that means here, 90 degree. To avoid wastage, Ellie needs to get the accurate sizes of the colored paper. Find the value of each of the following. Okay, so they more or less give you everything you need lah. Okay, so the question number 1, it says find tangent alpha plus beta. So alpha plus beta, that means here lah, the whole thing, correct? So you'll be thinking how you want to do this. Actually, this one you just have to use SOHCAHTOA, right? So you're looking at this triangle here. Okay, alpha plus beta. So it's tangent, right? Tangent means opposite over adjacent. So that means 7 plus 8 over 10. Okay, so your answer should be 15 over 10, 3 over 2. Or you can write 1.5. Okay, whichever you prefer. Next, question B. They ask for tangent alpha. So tangent alpha is where? Tangent alpha is a different triangle now. You're only looking at this triangle. Okay, so same thing. Opposite over adjacent. So it's 4 over 5, or you can write as 0.8. Okay, question C. Question C is where the real headache is. See, question is asking for tangent beta. Beta is here, correct? You cannot form a triangle. So how are you going to solve this? What you can do is you can make use of this one. Because you know what is tangent alpha plus beta, right? You have to use the formula. Okay, wait, let me write here. Tangent alpha plus beta, use the addition formula, is equals to tangent alpha plus tangent beta over 1 minus tangent alpha tangent beta. Okay, we have to rearrange this to find the tangent beta. Clear? Yeah, okay. So we already have this 1.5. So 1.5 equals to tangent alpha we don't know. Tangent alpha we know, 0.8 plus tangent beta over 1 minus 0.8 tangent beta. Okay, wait, let me write up here, no space already. So I rearrange this, I should get 1.5 minus 1.5 times 0.8 is what? Wait, 1.5 times 0.8, 1.2. So 1.2 tangent beta equals 0.8 plus tangent beta. Okay, so I rearrange this, I should get 2.2 tangent beta. I bring this the other side. So 1.2 plus 1 is 2.2, and then 1.5 minus 0.8, I should get 0.7. So it's 0.7. So tangent beta equals to 0.7 divided by 2.2, which is also equals to 7 over 22. Can I write that in terms of decimal? Let me see. Yeah, you'll get recurring, I mean, many decimal place. So I'll just leave it at 7 over 22, okay? So that's your answer. Tangent beta. Done. Okay? Wait, this one done, this one done, this one also done. Next, what they ask, state the values of alpha, beta. Oh, okay. So they want you to find alpha, beta. So you already found all this, right? So you can just do like how we have learned so far. See, I use a different color. Tangent alpha equals 0.8. So reference angle is what? Reference angle would give you 38.66. Then you must check which quadrant is it in. It's a positive tangent, so it's first quadrant and third quadrant. Okay, you should know by now. First quadrant and third quadrant. So first quadrant means alpha would be equals to 38.66. Third quadrant would be 180 plus 38.66, so it's 218.66. Is this going to be your answer? No. You have to ignore 218.66. Why? Because they're asking for alpha. Alpha is a, here, right, acute angle. So you cannot have the third quadrant. The third quadrant is a reflex angle. So the triangle is not reflex angle. Just by looking at it, you know it is not a reflex angle. So the answer for alpha is 38.66. Okay. Now let's find for the next one, beta. So beta, you have to use this. So tangent beta equals 7 over 22. So what's the reference angle? Reference angle would be 17.65. Okay, so same thing, you will have two quadrants, first quadrant and third quadrant, but I'm only going to take the first quadrant. Yes, because third quadrant will be more than acute angle. You see here, beta is only what? It's only an acute angle, right? So the answer should be, you should get 17.65 and also 197.35 from 6.65, but this one you can ignore. Okay, so answer is this. Next, they want to find for BAC. BAC, where is BAC? BAC is here, this angle. So how to find? You can use the triangle lah. So 180 minus 90 minus alpha plus beta. Okay, so BAC equals to 180 minus 90 minus alpha is what? 38.6. So 38.66 minus 17.65. So BAC would be 33.69. Okay, next they ask for ADB. Sorry, I'm cramping everything here because I got no space already. ADB, okay, angle ADB. Where is angle ADB? ADB, so it's here, this angle. So you can use this triangle, 180 minus this one you have just found, and minus beta also can, to find your answer. So ADB equals to 180 minus 33.69 minus beta is what? 17.65. So ADB would be equals to 128.66. Okay, then they ask for BDC. So where is BDC now? BDC is here. Okay, so there are two ways. Either you take 180 minus, you use this triangle here, minus 90 minus alpha, or you can straight away take 180 minus this, because you've already found this in the previous question, ADB, right? So I will do that lah. So angle BDC equals to 180 minus 128.66. So answer is equals to 51.34. Right here, 51.34. Okay. Yeah, we are almost there. Let's see what's the next one. So now they ask you to find the length of BD and also AB. BD is where? BD is here. So this one you can do what? Pythagoras theorem, right? Because you already know 8 and 10. So you just want to find BD. So BD equals to square root 8 square plus 10 square. You should get 12.8062 cm. And then you want to find AB. AB is here. Same thing. You can use Pythagoras theorem. So AB equals to square root of, so this one is what? 15, right? So 15 square plus 10 square. So your final answer should be 18.0278 cm. Clear? Alright, so that is all for this chapter. We are done with almost everything you need to know should be covered in this 4-part video. Okay, but of course I know it's just like touch and go. We are trying to cover as much as we can. Don't worry, I will do more exercises in the future. I'll produce more videos for you guys. So yeah, stay tuned. And yeah, I hope you benefit from this. I really hope so, because I spent so much of time with preparing this. I hope you all learn from this, and I hope to see you all on my next video. Alright, take care. Bye bye.